This is James Holder for IIFL TV in association with Macklin Marbella. We're at the press conference today for Tony Bellew, head of his WBC World Title Challenge against Makabu. Firstly, the real Rocky story is alive. What's happening, fellas?
It is. It's finally here. Do you know what? You seem more excited than us, James.
I am really
We talked
excited.
out. That was one of the best press conferences I've ever been a part of. Do you know why? Because no one could believe this was happening.
Yeah.
And everybody is so delighted to
You've
be
got
on the
characters
bill.
galore
Oh,
as well.
mate, like Masher's a credit to himself and the sport. Yeah. You know, you got Stephen Smith, you got Tony Dodds, you got some great stories. Callum Smith just come up to me and went, "You've got to get me on this bill." Every Scouser, I mean, we made Derry Matthews a big offer to fight Masher, and he was all over it. He was like, every Scouser wants to be on this bill. And, you know, I can't wait. I can't believe we're finally here. Yeah. Tickets have gone fantastically well in the first few hours.
I bet.
And this man gets to do the business for the WBC World Title.
It's crazy. We're here after all that media and all that. I've had to keep my mouth shut as best as I could because listen, I've wanted to say for about a month now, I'm fighting on May the 29th at Goodison Park.
You did a few times.
Yeah, I did. I was close, yeah. And I just wanted to tell people, just make sure you're free on the bank holiday Sunday. So you know it's done now, and we're here. I'm looking forward to it.
When you was filming Creed,
yeah.
you filming Creed, did you have any inkling that you could potentially fight here for a world title? Did it go through your mind? Did you think about it?
It's always been on my mind, but did I genuinely think it could ever happen? No, if I'm being totally honest. And then the movie made it kind of, I don't know. You know what the director said to me, and we still speak now. He got married on Sunday, and we spoke on the phone. And he always said to me, "Tony, you're going to end up fighting at Goodison Park. You know, I know how much you want to do it, because listen, the movie wasn't always going to be at Goodison Park." And it was only down to me.
But you influenced him to get
twice
him
for the movie and for this fight.
Yeah, I did. I influenced him for the movie and Goodison, and then I've spoke to him a few times, and we always speak regularly. He's a great person, Ryan, and he just said, "Trust me, it's going to happen for you. I just know it's going to happen." I pestered the life out of him. Literally, I'm telling you, I've set his phone on fire at least 4 times. I'm just persistent. When I've got something in my mind, I'm persistent, and if I believe it can happen, I'll do it. If the truth be known, I probably could have took a safer option and went somewhere else, but I thought we'll run the gauntlet, and you know what? Ultimately, I can't lose. I've already won. I'm going to fight at Goodison Park, and all the people are going to remember is, no one's going to say, "Tony Bellew won the WBC World Title at Goodison Park with X amount in or Y amount in." All those people are going to say is, "Tony Bellew won the WBC title at Goodison Park on May the 29th. That's all they're going to say, and that's all they're going to remember, and that's what's going to happen.
What's Makabu got to do to beat Tony Bellew?
There's nothing that he can do. There's nothing that he can do. Listen, boxing is a brutal sport and a brutal business, and he has to make it as brutal as possible, this fight. I just don't believe he has the size and structure to do it. He's going to come in light, which is going to be a bad mistake. You know what, the things that he usually has advantages in fighters, usually has a speed factor and a power factor over a lot of guys who he faces. I've seen him give that up in fights with people like Ty Fields and people like that, but ultimately in this fight he's not going to have much of it. I don't even think he's going to have a speed advantage. I've carried my speed from light heavyweight up to cruiserweight, and I don't think he's going to have a power advantage. I'll be the bigger man, I'll make it show, and you'll see when we come out to it. I thought he might have been here today, but you'll see when we come face to face who the real cruiserweight is. Because you see when the likes of me and Johnny stand face to face and neck, I'm the same size as Johnny Nelson. Johnny Nelson was known as one of the monster cruiserweights of the division. Well, so am I.
How will you handle the crowd and the passion? I mean, you're one of the most passionate people I personally know.
Yeah.
How will you deal with coming out to such a big moment, such a big many local faces, such a big, your club, your theatre of dreams, if you like? How will you deal with that pressure, Tony?
I don't feel like it's a pressure, to be honest. I feel like I've already won. Because like I say, it's happening, it's here. So all I have to do is go out there and stick to the game plan, do my job. It's hard. It's hard to say exactly how will I stay away from the pressure. He's looking at me as if to say, "What are you going to do? Don't you lose your nuts in this one."
Listen, I've seen him
You
before.
can visualise him with tears down his eyes walking in, can't you?
Listen,
Yes.
when he boxed in that all-time classic against Isaac Chilemba at the Echo Arena, I went into the room, and I think that was probably my second or third fight of him or something like that. Yeah. And he was walking around in the dressing room, up and down, beating his chest, going, "Whoa!" hitting walls. And then we walked out to the back of the stage, and Chilemba was over in the corner ready to walk, and he's shouting at him, "You're getting it, Chilemba!" Ah! I'm thinking, looking at him, it was such a big fight for him at the time. It was a final eliminator for Stevenson. And by the 3 rounds was up, and he was so fit for that fight. 3 rounds was up, he was completely shattered. Nervous energy takes over, and that can happen here. But he's too experienced now for that. You know, he's boxed Stevenson in Canada. He's boxed cleverly on pay-per-view. He's been in part of the big events. This is another level. But he knows how important it is, not just to waste energy and start losing his rag, you know. So everything is calm, and Dave Caldwell will be a huge part of that because he'll be in his ear constantly, and you know he's going to be a big player in winning this fight.
A massive factor is the movie's also a massive factor in as well, because when you've been around that kind of scenario and the level of things that are going on and how things have got to run and how it's so precise. You understand, and the media obligations that take part with it, nothing can even touch it from the media obligations of this side of it, and the stress and the pressure. I'll always say this and I'll stick by it, the pressure can never get any greater than it was in that Cleverly rematch. I'm telling you now, I had cameras following me for 2 months. I was training as hard as I possibly could, because considering the first fight I was expecting to go into World War II, even though that didn't happen. But then in the background of all that, so while all this was going on, the media, the hype for the fight, the way it sold out, in the background of all that, I had a contract sitting on my table, a house for the Rocky movie that no one knew about. No one knew. And I had that sitting there, and every day for 6 weeks before the Chloe fight, Warner Brothers would call me and say, send the contract, sign it and send it, sign it and send it. If you don't sign it and send it, you're going to lose this part. And I kept saying, no, I'm not signing it, I'm waiting till after the fight. Then they called me about 4 days before the fight and said, listen, the movie's been given something in the movie industry called the green light. And when a movie gets given the green light, it is, that's what it is.
Is that only in the movies?
In the movie industry.
Never heard that before.
They use it called the green light. They said it's been given the green light. So Sly signed, MBJ signed, the director. Every single person has signed for the movie, and the director is just waiting on you to. So when the green light gets given, it gets pushed, and that's it. It goes. And I said, well, you're gonna have to wait because I'm not signing. And they said, there's a chance you're gonna get replaced and you're not gonna get the part. Well, I said, well, so be it. Because if I don't win this fight, I'm not doing the movie. So you can imagine when I walked to the ring, I swear the pressure for that fight was unbelievable, and the pressure didn't sink in until the flames came up behind me. When I started the ring,
touched your bum here.
You know what?
It always happens. It was so hot. I've got every fight. I go, oh Jesus!
I was
that costs like $5,000. Those fires. It's a joke.
Okay, no, that's a fucking robbery. I'm not doing it for this one. Then.
The question we all want to know: who would play Tony Bellew in the film of your life?
There is no one who could play it, me, because they'd say you wouldn't even write a movie on my life because you'd say it's not real, it's false.
Who would you get to play Eddie? Ricky Gervais?
No. Do you know
most people saying that Southpaw thing, they go, that 50% was just like you.
No,
I was like, leave it out. I'm crying.
I know who could play Eddie.
Go on.
John Cleese.
John Cleese.
Is it? Am I thinking like
what? Basil Fawlty.
Faulty.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Now,
brilliant.
Cheers, mate. I was going to mug you off. Right, you're all right. Kept quiet.
No, it's you need a tall fella who can pull off a role. Eddie does his job
John
fantastically. No, he does, mate. He does. All jokes aside, he does his job. Listen, at the end of the day, when me and Eddie linked up, I was a British champion with nowhere to go. That's the truth. That's a fact. I was a British champion. I couldn't shift a ticket in Liverpool, and I had nowhere to go. Within the space of 2 years, I became the WBC #1 ranked fighter. I beat good fighters along the way, good unbeaten fighters, good European level fighters. Failed at the very end against Adonis Stevenson, but then we regrouped, found a way to come back, and then we're here now. We went in a cruiserweight. Although people, I think they actually all believe now I'm a cruiserweight.
You are cruiserweight.
At first, they didn't think I was, because they looked at the Brewdog fight and they were worried because Brewdog's
Listen,
a keeper.
when I look back at pictures of you,
Yeah,
at 175 pounds, we sat in that hotel room before the Adonis Stevenson weigh-in in Canada,
finished.
and you were like,
That
You
was
know,
the closest.
I think that's why you were so angry a lot of the time.
Yeah,
do
no,
you know what?
100%.
Genuinely,
100%.
genuinely.
People still don't understand what went in
How many
between.
fat angry people do you know? None. See? Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what?
Look
You
at
could
how
tell
happy we are.
when he was near the
You
weight
know?
and his
I
cheekbones,
know.
you could really
Of course.
see it.
Mate,
like,
I'm telling you, you
crazy.
don't understand what I went through before that. Before I arrived at your hotel room, and I used to, I've never dried out. I've never believed in drying out. I believe it's dangerous and making weight like that.
It's very dangerous.
But that was the only time I physically had to. I remember turning up because the plan was go from my hotel, make weight in my hotel, go to your hotel, get you, and then go to the weigh-in. And I got to Eddie's hotel room, and I could tell when he just opened the door and looked at me.
You had a bean out, you
know.
know.
Like a
Well,
skeleton.
I went, how you
You're
feeling? I made the weight well.
different
But you just look fragile. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And you can't be fragile against proper fighters.
No, not
big
really.
punching fighters.
Not elite level fighters.
You're in with a big punching fighter this time around.
Yeah.
Massive 90% KO ratio. He got knocked out on his debut, coincidentally, and then gone on like a 20-run
But they say
KO
it was
run.
they say it was a language barrier why he got stopped. I'm told he was up at 8. Well, he was up at 9 and thought it was 8, but because he couldn't speak the language, and now that's why he's learned to speak English. I don't know how true that is. I've seen him. Listen, the point blank is he's being put down on the floor. So I don't care if it's
That's right.
first fight, 20th fight, whatever. He can knock out as many people as he has since. Who's he beaten of an elite level or world class fighter? Now, they say that Matuna.
Glenn Johnson's probably his best win.
Well, if Glenn Johnson's his best win, then you know you've got to have a serious look at him. Listen, he's a really good fighter. I'm not discrediting.
That we're selling this fight. He's an absolute beast.
Oh, no,
The
I've
knockdown
had a
didn't
look
even
at him.
exist.
He is a
Right?
beast. Let's not
Oh, listen,
underestimate him.
I'm not discrediting
genuinely
anyway, but
is.
listen to me now. I'm Makabu's biggest test,
Yeah.
and he's my biggest test, and we both have records that suggest, and we both have tendencies to show that we can both be vulnerable. So in this fight, anything can happen. I believe I'm going to hit him hard and hit him and nail him early, and he's going to really feel it. And then it's going to go one or two ways. Is he going to try and be defensive and use his southpaw stance cutely, or is he going to, you know what, fuck it, let's fight? And if he says fuck it, let's fight, I'll happily say let's fight, because ain't no smaller man is going to outfight me when I'm 100%. It's just not happening. He couldn't outpunch me. He can't outwork me. The only way you lose fight, I believe I can lose fights if you cop me one big one, and I even believe I'm the bigger puncher going into this fight. My record might not show it, but just look at his face the first time I hit him clean, and he's going to feel it.
Before we go, tell the people of Liverpool, I want one passionate speech down the camera lens why we should come out, buy tickets on the 29th
Listen,
of May.
this is the biggest boxing event this city has ever seen. This was a dream that I thought could never ever happen. Come out and support this, because ultimately it's not just about football clubs. It's about a Scouser who's pursued a dream that he's believed in his whole life, and now it's finally here. And I just want everyone to enjoy it on what will be an amazing night. Bank holiday Sunday. Us Scousers know how we like to behave on bank holidays, and we know what it means. Let's make this the best bank holiday ever. And I can only promise I can bring home that green and gold belt. The help of Eddie, Dave, the team around me, between us all, May the 29th is going to be a memorable night.
Passion levels 9,000.
Fucking have it! I'm choking up, yeah.
On that note, gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me some time today. Great announcement, great fight, and we will see you real soon.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you for having us.